All right, class, welcome back. Here we are post spring break. I know that before the break that turned into 2 weeks, I said that I would be posting a lecture during the second week that would have a long due date on it. However, as soon as I finished recording that lecture, we all received an email from the university saying we are not allowed as instructors to assign anything over the break, so therefore we have one less lecture. But the good news is I think we're going to be able to get all the content from this semester in as well, because in the past semesters that I've taught this class, there have been conferences, and we've had to cancel 1 or 2 weeks due to those conferences. This year, due to the online nature of this class and also the fact that COVID-19 is eliminating all conferences, we won't have any weeks to miss before the end of this semester. So therefore, all the content that's been in this class before will be included here. So this week is Excel week number 2. And you're going to be watching 3 videos that have been put together by my really good friend over in IT, Alec Muthig. If you've ever taken any of the skills lectures that he puts on over at the IT building, they are fantastic, and that's the reason that I reached out to him for help with this. You will notice a lot of the skills that are in this are going to be kind of a review from our first lesson. However, Alec goes into a lot more depth with them. They're only about 3 10-minute videos, so it shouldn't take you too long. I think one of them is even like 6 or 7 minutes. So you're not going to go too far in depth. However, you're going to see that when you get to the exercise for this week, you're going to really have to apply them. In the past, when I asked you to kind of choose 1 or 2, that kind of gave you the leeway to skip around some of the skills that you might not have felt that comfortable with. This week, you're not going to have that luxury. You're going to have to use all the skills that Alec goes over to complete the assignment for this week. So you're going to struggle a little bit. Some of you may be less than others because you're a little bit more experienced with using Excel. But what I really want you to get out from this week's lecture and also the exercise is, once you complete your database, what is the fastest way for me to make a publication ready table and figure from that data? And that's our whole purpose of today's lecture right now, because when it comes down to it, you're going to be collecting data for a project in your career, and your advisor is going to come to you and say, hey, that abstract is due for the conference in 2 days, and you're going to have to get right to it and be able to get that data out very quickly. Or you're going to have a conference coming up and, oh, we just finished collecting data on our last subject 3 days ago. Let me make sure all the data is up to date that's in those slides. So we want to really make sure that we have those ready. Or, worst case scenario, you have your master's thesis defense coming up, and you have to make sure that all your data is correct for that thesis document, and those figures are really, really nice for the defense. Okay, so that's the purpose of this right here. Once again, I'm trying to go over a lot of the mistakes that I've made so that when you make your first table for a publication or for your defense, it's of a quality that your advisor is going to look at it and say, it's great, let's go. Let's move on to the next thing, as opposed to them saying, hey, make all these changes. Okay, that's what I want. The other thing, I have a new discussion up for this week, so make sure you check that out. Also, I've extended the discussion from over the break about communication fails until tomorrow, until Friday. So if you didn't get the chance to complete that over the break, obviously because a lot of people had a lot of different logistics going on, make sure to complete that as soon as you can. And I'm still chipping away at the grading. I was able to get about 3 of the assignments done. Still behind, but I'm making my way through. Be sure that if you have any questions or comments on the grading that I'm putting up there, or you want to resubmit, you can do that for full credit. If you make all the changes that I make comments on and resubmit on WILE courses, you have the ability to gain full credit for any of those assignments. So if you're not happy with any of your grades, if you want to have a quick video call with me, I can do that. So just make sure that we're learning as much from possible. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of a stickler when it comes down to grading. Once again, the rationale there being, I want to be hard in this grading where it doesn't really matter. We're not thinking about a paper getting rejected or you being accepted for a presentation. What we're thinking about is just learning some skills. So this is a low risk scenario where if I grade more challenging with a lot of the assignments, hopefully that will give you the insight, whereas when you're doing this when it really counts, you won't make those same mistakes, or you'll be less likely to. So that's the rationale behind that. Once again, any questions, come to me, send me an email. I'll be happy to set up video conferences with people. That's been successful here with a couple students so far. So keep those comments coming as well. If there are things that you want to see as the semester kind of starts to wrap up here, just let me know and we will make sure we cover those in the coming weeks. Next week is going to be our not social media per se, but our LinkedIn, ResearchGate, CV lecture, a really, really important one, especially as we start to have some people in this class who are thinking about applying for jobs or may have already applied for jobs. We want to make sure that all those kind of public-facing outlets that have your name on them are professional, appropriate, and help you get the job, don't help you not get the job. Okay, so stay tuned for that next week.